Hello again, everyone. After the card I made with Cleo, with her background, which was really kind of very fussy and very mixed media-y, I wanted to do something that was much more clean and simple-ish. So I want to use the same set of dies and stamps that I got from Amazon, and I've only just bought them, but I put a link in yesterday and people have told me now they're all sold out. Sorry about that, but I just want to use them again. But it just pays you to look and see what you can spot, and there are some absolute bargains. This set of stamps and those dies were probably about £6 or £7, which is really silly money, absolutely silly. So just keep your eye out and you might find some bargains. So what I want to do today is to use one of the little tags, and there are two sorts here, and I thought I would use the larger of the two. One thing I'm not too thrilled about is the fact that this line here isn't smooth. It's like the straight line here, and then the curved one joins it. It's not, you know. So what I thought I would do, you can see here, can you see there's kind of a little point there, a little point here. So I cut out a whole bunch of other things. I went to my flowers box and pulled out some little dies with, you know, flower head kind of things. That one is a little flourish. I think that might be a memory box. I'm not absolutely certain. But what I was thinking was this. I would kind of like to have that there-ish, maybe with a few bits hanging off the edge. I think they look pretty. And I've got this one. I don't know where any of these come from, so. And that could go up there, and that would hide that corner a little bit, because I'm not too keen on it. And what I'm going to try and do is to make this so that the line follows round, so that it looks natural to the eye. I had very, very interesting comment on one of my cards on YouTube that I read either yesterday or today. And this lady said, oh, you put the sentiment in an unexpected place. And I thought, she thought, oh dear, what is she doing? But when it was done, she thought that's perfect. She said, I would have put it where there was a gap, but you overlapped it on something. So she said, is this sort of innate, that you kind of know where to put things, or are there any rules? Well, I think it's a bit of both, to be perfectly honest. When placing things, for example, if I'm going to put this little tag onto a 5x7 card, you could do that, and it would be fine. But if you were to move it somewhere, it makes it a bit more interesting, in my view. Other people may not agree. But there are a couple of things that I did in just moving it there. One is that the centre of this is now about a third of the way into the card, and thirds work beautifully. Threes of arranging bits and bobs work beautifully. And the other thing is a reasonable proportion of space between whatever you're putting on and the side and the bottom. If one is going to be bigger than the other, the larger one, I feel, should be at the bottom. It gives it weight. If it's kind of like that, it looks like it's falling off the bottom. Can you see? But if you move it to there, it looks happier. And also, the middle of this is then about a third of the way down. So there are kind of rules, but a lot of the time, it's just using your eyes. What I just mentioned about putting this on, so that if you put that one up the top and make the line flow from this one, it's going to be much more pleasing to the eye. I was thinking I would put a bunch of flowers on like this, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. And I cut out various ones to see what I would like. I don't intend, that would look lovely white on white actually, wouldn't it? But I don't intend doing white on white today. I thought I would use up some backgrounds. That one is a bit of old something or other. I think that was starch. Looks like starch and, I don't know, luscious mica or some make of pigment powders. But I've got these two. These are watercolour backgrounds that I download from Pingwing. So I thought I might use some of that. You can see that one's been used a couple of times, as has this one. So I was using these, the plain white ones, just from a little offcut, just to see what I was going to do. And I tried, you know, these ones are made to, they're like daisy things. And they're made to stack, I think, like this. Or you can use several of the same size. And I thought that was quite pretty too, but probably a little bit large. It comes with this little die here, which has got, let me just find the piece that is. Here it is. It's a whole bunch of little centres, do you see? They're like, actually, they're shaped like little stars, and you can put several of them into the middle to make the centre of the daisy. So, you know, there's lots of different things. So I think what I'll do now is a little bit of background on this and then cut some of those from my downloaded image backgrounds. The other thing I did was to go, I've got some inks out here, and they are the ones that I thought I could use to either just go over some of the flowers to emphasize the colour or whatever. And I did it by taking my samples to my chart, and I thought that, if you look here, Tattered Rose, Spun Sugar and Saltwater Taffy, this bit here, were really good. So I've got those there. And for the greens, I mean, there's lots I could choose here, but two of my favourites are Shabby Shutters, which is there, which is the warmer green here. Can you see there? And Bundled Sage, which is there. Yep. So that's what I thought. So I've got those ready just in case. Okay. And this little thing is the set of stamps that came with those dies, and I thought I'd try this one today. It's a bit of text, a bit of script, and it's got some like postmarks on. It's got a picture of a little envelope, London Airmail and Paris, France, 1938 or 36, does it say? One of the two. So I thought I would do that. Where's my tag gone? Here it is. Okay. I thought I would put a bit of, which is the right way up. Easier to see there. Paris goes at the top. I thought I would put that on the bottom like this. I may not go right to the edge. I might use it in my fingers so that I get a, because this line is going to be in that direction. So I want this, the line of the backing, to go that way as well. So the first thing I think I'll do with this is to put a bit of base background colour on it, and I think I will use the greens. Okay, so let's start with the Bundled Sage. I think let's do this one on this little black mat. They don't move about, which is great. Okay. Now I put a little of the Shabby Shutters on as well. Just warm it up a bit in the middle here. Okay. I think that will do for that. Now I want to put my stamp on. And I think I'm going to use green for that, but I'll use Rustic Wilderness, which is deeper. Do I want Rustic Wilderness? I'll try it. I'll try it actually on a piece of scrap and just see if I like the colour contrast. Let's just see. Okay, I'll have a go. Let's put this back here. A lot of this is going to be covered actually by the foliage when I put it on. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Pop that up there. I'll leave that for the minute. I think I'll just cut some of the foliage out. There's just this bit, and I don't think I mind where I cut this from. I'll have a bit from... Oh, we're going to have a white bit there. We'll do that one there. And where's the other one? Here. I'll just do it in this corner. So I'll cut that piece off and pop it through my machine. I don't actually like the Rustic Wilderness this time so much. I don't think really. I'm going to put a little bit of it onto these just to give it a bit more definition. I don't like the green. I really don't like the green. I was wondering about it before I did it, but I don't like it. A lot's going to be covered by the flowers, but I still don't like it. So, just let me try on the back. If it's going to work this way, then I will cut another one. Let's just do this. Oops. I do hate it jigging about. I think that's going to be better. So I will cut another one. Don't like that. It's kind of vulgar, isn't it, really? I'll cut another one. Right. Let's do it for real now. This is pumice stone. It's one of my favourites for backgrounds. Totally. All right. Oh, I still want that, don't I? Right way up. It's Paris at the top. Oh, that's better. Makes me feel better already. These ones, again, the Rustic Wilderness is a bit too deep. So, some people are probably ahead of me already. But gilding wax. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. My goodness. There we go. Lovely. That can just have a while to dry off. It does take a while, otherwise I'll be getting it everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to cut out some flowers. And I think I'll go with these little ones. So I'll cut some of those from my pink sheet. Just wondering if we want anything else on here. Any more stamping? What's on this? What's on here? That's all very similar, isn't it? There's this one, which I used yesterday, which is a bit more solid. It says registered. We could have that, couldn't we? Same colour. I'm going to use pumice stone. There we go. Yeah, should be fine. Probably be getting a bit of gold on the edge of that before too long, as well as, but let me cut out some flowers from this. Okay, I've cut out a few of these flowers now. So let's just see. Perhaps I'll stick these on and then they'll need shaping, they'll need centers, for which I'll probably use pearls. I think this needs a bit of gilding wax. I want this a bit rough and ready, I think. Oh, I cut out a little flower for the reinforcement ring, didn't I, somewhere? I'll see if I can find it. Okay, where's my little flower? Here it is. I'll make that gold, I think. There we go, that can go on there when it's dry. Okay, let's stick these down because these are going to be the basis of the tag behind the flowers. I think I will use some of this. And my basting brush. Okay. That's sweet, isn't it? I like how the gold around the edge has linked the gold on the foliage. I think that's pleased me. I might as well stick this while I'm at it, mightn't I? Okay, sweet. Right, now our flowers, I think they might have to have some gold as well, the way we're going, don't you? Let's just see. Let's do a bit of arrangement. I will just shape them a bit first. Sweet, aren't they? I think these ones are Alexandra Renker, actually. Not absolutely sure, but... kind of like that. It's kind of sweet, isn't it? I think they need a bit of gold, though, so we will do that. That's some gold attached. I think that should be fine. I'll perhaps stick these down and then put the centres in a moment, but I've got a fancy for some little bits and pieces on the background here. About like that, perhaps. Let me stick those down. Just pick up and put straight back down again where it is. Nice. Now some pearls for the centres. But I still want to do something on here. I don't quite know exactly what. Let's have the tiny ones for the two small ones. And slightly larger ones for the others. I get these from Amazon as well, usually, or eBay, to be honest. And I just have to kind of get them when I can see them. So often I can see large ones, and I don't like large ones. A, they're a bit fat to go through the post, through the mail. And B, they don't really suit my sort of designs. So they liven them up enormously, just putting a little pearl in there, don't they? Okay. I feel as if I want something very small and gold on here, and I know not what. I need to find a ribbon for that. Let's get the card base back while I'm thinking what to do about that background. Okay, this is kind of going to go about like that. So we need a sentiment and we need something on here. Not exactly happy with that. So that needs a bit of stamping. I will look for a sentiment and I will be back. Well, I've had a little rummage and I've got out some art impression stamps, and they've got some little tiny things. This is the grass one that I use. In fact, the one I use is one that somebody sent me because I lost this one. And the one I use is a rubble version of this. So I've got this one and I've got that. Those two sets of leaves. And I tried out a couple of different inks, gold inks, to see what they look like. This one looks sort of blackish, darkish, and this one is brighter. So that's the one I thought I would use. So I'm just going to, I'm hoping this is going to look all right, but I probably should have done it, you know, before I put the flowers on, but never mind, we will see. I'm trying to get it in as close as I can. Just a few little bits of gold. Let's try this one. That one is just a little row of flowers. Doesn't show up incredibly well. I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's just a little bit of colour. I also got out my pearls again. I thought I would put some tiny pearls on there, just dotted about, these little ones. So I'll put some of those on. I've also found a bit of ribbon, so I'm going to make a bow to put on the top there. So these are just going to be random pearls. There we go. Now let's just tie the bow for the top. I've got a little bow maker here. I bought this on eBay years and years ago, and it is so simple to make a beautifully proportioned bow. So all you do is you wrap it around, go between the posts, bring it over, and then just tie in a simple knot. And it means if, like me, you have this ribbon which is satin on one side and dull on the other, and if you can see, that's the satin side and that's the grosgrain kind of side. It means that when you tie your bow, you can get it with the satin side facing all the way, because that is going to be the front of the bow. So let's take it off and we'll cut it up. Which is my best scissors for cutting this, I'm not sure. It's just... Look at it, and that's sweet. And that can be either stuck onto there. I think I probably will. So let's go back to the card. It is really sweet, isn't it? So now what I thought I'd like to do is set a sentiment, but I wanted just sending love, not sending love and hugs. So I'm going to mask this stamp before I stamp it. So let's get it out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put a piece of tape there. I'll have to put it as far away from the love as I can, because otherwise it's going to be a smaller gap there. It is a smaller gap in any case at the minute, but we'll just have to see how we go on. And I would actually like to emboss this in gold. So, piece of offcut. And as I want to do it in gold, I will just use my anti-static tool to start with. Ink up the stamp. Take off the tape. Now I'm going to stamp it onto my piece of card. Now I'm going to emboss it with some gold. Hope there was enough Versamark on there. It's interesting, there's a point I have to show you in a moment. If you see here, that was where the sticky tape was. And the stickiness on the stamp from the tape has transferred to the paper. So some Versamark has grabbed it. So the answer to that one is simply to get a brush, probably in this case, and just get rid of it. Like that. It's not absolutely right because, as I said, the space this side of sending love is smaller than that. If I wanted to get them right, I should have put a little bit of tape on this side as well, just to make sure that it was the same width. The other alternative is to cut it without any border at all. I usually leave a little white border, but there are loads of ways around, you know, getting your own way. I'm just going to heat set this. Just chop it out, cut it out. See if I like it. Right, let's have a look. Just wondering if it's a bit big. Just wondering if that's a bit long, proportion-wise. I only want it to come to about there. What have I got that could be that long? Thank you would do it. Love you would do it. Miss you would do it. Get well would do it. Get well soon is too long. Let's Celebrate's a bit long. That might be the answer, to push it push it further in. I think I will. I'll do that, but push it further in. Okay, that's going to be joined to this. The whole lot's going to have to go onto some foam tape. Take that pearl out of the way. Right, we'll put some foam tape on the back of this. Take this round the corner. If I put that like that, it might help to grab the ribbon. There we are. I'm pleased now, actually. Oh, the thoughts I go through trying to dismiss things. Is it right? Is it not right? So we finally got there. I finished my card, and in the end, I am pleased. I am pleased with it. I love the shades of pale green and pale pink. I think they complement each other really well. And the touch of gold, I think, you know, adds a little to it. But this is the complete antithesis of the card I made yesterday. So I hope you liked it. And I really wanted to show you some of the thought processes I go through to get it where the card finishes up, if you know what I mean. So, bit of fun. And I had fun anyway. So do join me again very, very soon. And thank you for joining me.